Case 58. Goodspeed Airport versus East Haddam Inland Wetland. We find ourselves in the U.S. District Court for the District of Connecticut. Facts. Plaintiff Goodspeed Airport, the owner and operator of Goodspeed Airport in East Haddam, Connecticut, seeks a declaration that two Connecticut environmental laws, the Inland Wetlands and Watercourses Act and the Connecticut Environmental Protection Act, are preempted by federal aviation law insofar as the state statutes require Goodspeed to obtain a permit before removing certain trees located at the airport. Established in 1964, Goodspeed Airport, located in Connecticut, is a small privately owned airport open for public use, as defined by 14 CFR 77.2. Certain of the trees at the airport penetrate both the primary surface and the transitional surface, such that they are obstructions to air navigation under Part 77. DOT inspections of the airport over the past 30 years revealed that the airport has long experienced substantial tree obstructions. Ordinarily, an airport owner is generally free to remove or lower trees that are on airport property without an order from DOT. Goodspeed claims that the trees are obstructions to air navigation under FAA regulations, making them potential hazards to aeronautical safety that the airport is obligated to remediate. However, because the trees are in wetlands protected by the Wetlands Act and the CPA, Goodspeed is required to obtain permission of the town of East Haddam's Inland Wetlands and Watercourses Commission before trimming or removing the trees. If Goodspeed undertakes the trimming or removal of these trees without the required permit, the airport could be subjected to civil liability and substantial fines under the Wetlands Act and the CEPA. The issue. This case raises important questions regarding the extent to which Congress intended federal regulation of aviation safety to preempt generally applicable state and local environmental laws. The holding. The court concludes that the defendant's actions in regulating the removal of trees at Goodspeed Airport that are within the protective wetlands are neither field preempted by federal aviation law nor expressly preempted by the ADA. Accordingly, the court enters judgment for the defendants on all counts. Reasoning. After considering evidence presented at a bench trial, the court concludes that in the circumstances of this case, federal regulation of airport safety does not preempt state and local environmental laws in the way Goodspeed asserts. The court emphasizes that it does not take the airport safety concerns lightly, and it does not mean to suggest that the obstructing trees ought to be ignored. There do appear to be several trees that pose legitimate safety concerns. But if Goodspeed wishes to remove the trees that it believes are obstructions, it will need to seek a permit to do so from the Wetlands Commission, which may, consistent with state law, impose conditions designed to mitigate degradation of the wetlands. The crux of this case turns in large part on the import of the determination that the trees at Goodspeed are obstructions under Part 77. This subsection is now 14 CFR 77.3. It provides, public use airport is an airport available for use by the general public without a requirement for prior approval of the airport owner or operator. Significantly, nothing in either Part 77 or its authorizing statute 49 U.S. Code 44718 grants the FAA the power to regulate how land is used insofar as structures that may penetrate navigable airspace are concerned. In other words, the FAA cannot require that a structure or object be altered or removed, even if it is an obstruction. Instead, the regulations focus on studying potential hazards and giving notice to interested individuals. Thus, for example, Part 77 requires notice to be given to the FAA of any proposed structure that would be more than 200 feet above ground level at its site, as well as any proposed construction or alteration that would be of greater height than an imaginary surface extending outward and upward from any public use airport's runway at certain slopes, depending on the length of the runway.